How would you approach the situation? Are my mom's expectations for my children too high, or am I not being hard enough on them? Signed, a mom that feels stuck between her kids and her mother.
I think you did a great job in telling your mom, like, hey, I hear you, and me and my husband, we are working on it, and we did put a consequence in, and I am teaching them all the things. But I would also suggest to say your Mom, I need you to be a little patient because, we are doing our job, and I appreciate you helping, but they are kids. They're 10 and they're 7. And I know sometimes even with me and the grandkids, I've said something like, y'all get up and do this, or y'all be like, Mom, be sweet. And it's good for me to be reminded because, we are older and we do just forget. And I'm not used to talking to a 5-year-old all the time. Hey moms, today's episode is all about honoring your mother. And I know sometimes that can be tricky between honor and also enabling. And we don't want to do the enabling part. So it's hard to set up a boundary because you feel like you're being too harsh. But I hope you're going to enjoy diving in and learning these ladies' questions because I think it's going to help all of us have a better honoring relationship with our moms.
Hey there, moms, and welcome to Wire Talk. We are so glad you found us. Whether you are a longtime listener or this is your first episode, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm your host, Emily, and to my right is, I had to think about that, right or left. To my right is the Honorable Karen Stubbs, which is my mom. So, hey, Mom, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Emily?
I'm doing good. I went shopping last night, so I got a lot of new clothes. So that's kind of fun.
I've been all month long. I've been like it. I mean, it's so cool.
Well, thank you. I had to be like, I don't need just leggings and joggers anymore. I've got a big girl job. I need to step up my game. So I'm wearing...
Especially when we're recording you every month.
I know. So I told Brian, I was like, I have to buy some clothes. And it took me a while to not go to the kids section. But I stayed in the adult section and I went by myself. So I don't think you guys realize how hard that is for me. But it was good. It was fun to shop.
They probably realize it more than you because it's probably hard for them too.
It is hard. And I feel like it's a lot easier to spend money on your kids than it is yourself.
100%. Yeah. But I'm glad you did it.
I know.
And you look great. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Well, today's episode's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
I was reading through these questions. I'm like, these are hard questions.
They are hard.
It's about honoring your mom. And from personal experience, it's easy to honor you because you're so wonderful.
Well, you're very sweet and kind.
Well, I speak the truth. But I know that that's not the relationship that everybody has with their mom. So, I think this is going to be a good question. This is going to be a good episode, but this, just is a little bit of a sensitive one for sure.
It is. And sometimes people don't have good relationships with their moms. So whenever they read verses like honor your father and mother, they're like, well, they're not worthy of honor.
Right.
So that's sort of a battle. But the way I always look at it is we are really ultimately honoring God whenever we honor our fathers and mothers. And even if they are not worthy, God is worthy.
So
that's sort of the way I try to look at it.
Yeah. Did you relate to any of these questions?
Oh, yeah. Especially the first question, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
I did relate to these. And as our parents age, it just gets really hard because we have a full life of our own, and then they're getting older and we have to help take care of them. But then they don't want your help. And so that's hard because, you're like, I'm trying to help you, and they're being very resistant. And, sometimes I've had to realize this is more of a spiritual battle than it is even an emotional battle. And so I have to really pray and be like, all right, God, I'm going, to visit my mom, and just help me be loving, help me be kind, and help me remember that she's 85 years old and she feels like she's losing a lot of her freedoms. And so therefore they fight even more to keep what little bitty things, And so God has really shown me different ways to love on my mom that I think hopefully I'm going to be able to share with everybody.
Well, I can't wait to see how you respond to some of these questions.
Yeah.
So you said you related to the first question, so let's go ahead and start it.
Dive in.
We can see how you related to it.
All right.
So the first question says, my dad recently died of a sudden stroke at the young age of 63. It was a shock, especially right before the holidays. While we are all mourning his death, I'm most concerned about my mom. I know not everyone has a great marriage, but my mom and dad truly had a good marriage. Dad was mom's person since she was 16 years old. They were married for 43 years. How can I, as her daughter, help her? I'm really the only child able to help her in the same state. I'm 33 with my third on the way. I don't want to crowd her, but my mom is also not the type to ask for help. We're only 25 minutes away. Thank you.
It's really good. I totally understand this because my dad died 5 years ago. And like her parents, my parents really did have a great relationship. And I think they were married 65 years, which is a really long time. Mom met dad when she was 18 years old. She was in college. She dropped out of college to get married to my dad. And her temperament is a green blue. So she's sort of, quiet and shy and not real, confident within herself. Dad was the red and very bold and gregarious and just sort of the life of the party. And mom just always sort of stayed in his shadow. So when dad died, she was completely lost. Completely. Dad did everything. He made all the decisions. And mom just really sort of shrunk into a shell of herself. And so me and my sisters have had to really be patient with mom, encourage mom, like, you can do this. And you've remind her of all the things that she has done in life because she really felt like her person was gone. And mom loved all of us, but my dad was her everything.
Yeah, her world.
Amen, her world. And so we as daughters, I believe you have to give them space to grieve. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even think mom has truly fully grieved dad.
Oh, wow.
I'll say, she'll say, I can't believe he left me. And I said, well, mom, he didn't really have a choice. He died, it wasn't like he left you, but in her mind, he did. So I've just had to give her space. And her grief, everybody handles grief differently. Her grief looks very different probably from the way I would have done it. But that's okay. And she just has to figure it out. And I think you also have to remind yourself that this sweet mama has her third on the way. She's in a busy season of life. You can only do so much. And so you got to let them figure it out their way in their time. And like you said, do what you can, but be okay and let her be alone and figure it out sometimes. It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what sweet words could you give this mom in this next season of life? Because this isn't just the next week. This is a season.
This is a season. Yeah. I just think you got to give her some time. And for the mom that wrote in the question, we did a podcast years ago with Judy Wolf on grief. And she talks about grief and how different people handle grief differently. I think it'd be good to go back and listen to that podcast. Okay. And maybe even let your mom listen to it, and say, hey, mom, we did have mom go to a grief counselor, for a little bit. And that, I don't know if it helped or not, but,
she went
and she did it. And that was good. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hey, moms, it's Katie. Karen's speaking calendar is full for 2024, but we're officially opening up her calendar for 2025 for new bookings. Karen would love to come teach her life-changing content on temperaments, discipline, and all things motherhood to the moms in your community. If you're part of a church or an organization that's looking for a phenomenal speaker for your next moms event or for your annual conference, head to our website, birdsonawiremoms.com/invite, and fill out our simple inquiry form. We'd love to partner with you to bring Karen and her practical parenting wisdom to your town. Again, head to birdsonawiremoms.com/invite and fill out an inquiry form today. Okay, let's get back to the show.
All right, moving right along. Question number 2. I'm so lucky and grateful to live near my parents. My mom helps watch my school-aged children after school, 7-year-old boy and 10-year-old girl, about once a week. The other day when she was watching them, they were fighting and annoying each other. After she left, I told her, thank you for watching the kids. I'm sorry they were misbehaving and that my husband and I had spoken to them and given consequences. We talked about being kind and helpful, took away movie night, and gave a chore that they had to do together. She responded by saying, "It's difficult to be around my children when they don't listen or respect her." She said they need to stop annoying each other and listen to her. While I completely agree, I can't make my kids behave. I told her I can teach and reteach them proper ways to be kind to each other and give them consequences when they don't behave. How would you approach the situation? Are my mom's expectations for my children too high, or am I not being hard enough on them? Signed, a mom that feels stuck between her kids and her mother.
Oh, bless her little heart. Well, that's a hard place to be. And honestly, there's a lot going on here. I mean, the mom probably has forgotten what it's like to have children this age where they do bicker back and forth, because all kids do it. All kids bicker, and especially siblings. And so I think you did a great job in telling your mom, like, hey, I hear you, and me and my husband, we are working on it, and we did put a consequence in, and I am teaching them all the things. But I would also suggest to say your mom, I need you to be a little patient, because, we are doing our job, and I appreciate you helping, but they are kids. They're 10 and they're 7. And I know sometimes even with me and the grandkids, I've said something like, y'all get up and do this, or y'all be like, Mom, be sweet. And it's good for me to be reminded, because, we are older and we do just forget. And I'm not used to talking to a 5-year-old all the time. Right. So I have to adjust the way, I'm used to talking to adults, and I can be blunt and all that, and they can handle it fine. But I'm like, okay, am I not being sweet? And y'all be like, well, you could be that was a little harsh. Kelsey says that more than you do, but it's true. And I need to adjust my tone. Yeah. So, and I can't expect for my grandkids to act perfectly, because they're not perfect. No. They're kids. So the other thing I think, as children, as adult children with our moms, we have to keep in mind, I love you, I appreciate you, I'm going to honor you, but my family comes first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We are not underneath their roof anymore to where we have to obey every single thing that they say. We're out on our own with our husbands, or even a single mom. So we have to do things what we feel like is best. And I always tell God, if I'm wrong in this, and if I've set this boundary and it's not a good boundary with my mom, then let me know. Right. Because I don't want to damage our relationship, but I think I need this for me, just to give myself some space. And so far, he has done that. He's let me know, like, that was harsh, or nope, that boundary's good. I guess it's you and your mom y'all are in a different season too. And you're figuring that out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, So how could you encourage, or what practical tip could you give this mom this week? Well, I think just you need to give yourself grace and realize that your children are going to make mistakes, and just pray that your mom will learn how to give grace too. It's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Well, question 3. My mother was a saint and watched my twin daughters daily for several years so that I could go back to work without the expensive daycare. Now I'm pregnant again. The twins are 4 years old and are in pre-K. This time around, we're okay with going with daycare because it will just be one child and the twins will be in kindergarten, and we are used to the expense. I know my mother is expecting to watch the baby again like she did with the twins, but I'm worried that she is going to resent us for deciding to put the new child in daycare. The daycare is close to my work, and it just feels like daycare will be the easiest on all of us. Having mom watch the twins did come with a few strings attached, and I just want to get away from having that be part of our relationship. Any tips on having this conversation delicately? I love my mom, and I don't want her to feel hurt. I love that. I know. Such a good attitude all the way around. Like, she's so grateful for her mom, and I know her mom appreciates it. But she's right. Strings are attached with everybody in every situation. Absolutely. It's just like whenever you loan someone money, you don't want there to necessarily be strings attached. But there probably is. Like, if they start spending things on crazy stuff, you're like, I just loaned you money and now you're buying this. You don't really need that, you know, kind of thing. So I totally get this scenario. So I think if I was this mom, I would go to her mom, and I would just say, hey, I just want to have a conversation with you and let you know where we're thinking for this baby number 3 and the reason why we're going to do it. And I would just tell her, say, Mom, you are a lifesaver. Like I couldn't have done the twins without you. Just the fact that you watched them while I went to work and I didn't have that added expense for the daycare, it really saved me a ton. We have decided that we're going to put the baby in daycare because the twins are going to be in school. It's close to my work for drop off and pick up. And I just want to give you some freedom to where you aren't tied to watching a baby all the time. And I know you would do it because you're so gracious and loving, but I'm going to put you on the list to pick up or drop off for the baby. And, if there's a day of the week that you want to pick them up and spend the afternoon with them, it's totally fine. But every day, I just want to build some consistency that they're going to the daycare and I can get them quickly and take them home and all that with the twins in school and all that. It's just going to help all the way around. Yeah. Plus, we're in a different financial place right now and we can afford it. And it's 1, not 2.
Makes a big difference.
For daycare.
Yeah.
So, but I just said, I just wanted to have a conversation with you up front so you're not, you don't get your feelings hurt because that's the last thing I want to do. And if she pushes back and says, no, I really want to watch them, just say, I know you do, but let's just try this for a little while.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it works. And if it doesn't, then we'll circle back and we'll have another conversation.
Yeah.
But this is what I really feel like is best.
Yes. It sounds like this mom and this daughter have a great relationship, and it sounds like she's going to be great with it. But I understand she wants to protect her feelings because she is so thankful for her.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how can you encourage this mom this week as she hears your answer to what you said?
I would just pray about the conversation before you go over there. And
That's
just pray that God would open up her mom's mind and heart, and also that he would lead you in your words.
Yeah.
Because you want to be honoring, but you want to also be firm in what you have decided is best for your family.
You got it. All righty. So this is question number 4. It's a long one, but it's going to be a good one.
All right.
All right. Question 4. Hi, Karen. I just adore your show and have gained so much wisdom from it over the years. Thank you for being a light to moms. My question is a follow-up from a recent episode that you had about boundaries. My father passed away 3 years ago, and my mom has a new boyfriend. Unfortunately, he has not introduced well to our family. Things were very secretive, and we were shocked to discover their relationship from social media and not from my mom directly. I asked her to please always communicate with my brother and I so that we wouldn't be surprised by things. Fast forward a few years, and we've gotten to a comfortable relationship with the new boyfriend. However, my family is quite dysfunctional.
His family.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. His family is quite dysfunctional, and I have told my mom I do not want to be around them, especially my kids, my boys who are 5 and 8. We've been invited to an upcoming family event, but mom left out the part about her boyfriend's family being invited as well. I can understand that she wants her new family and old family to come together, but I was clear in not wanting to be around them, and on top of it, have been surprised by this information. How can I best handle this situation? I don't want to be rude, and I want to maintain a good relationship with my mom. However, I don't want to let it slide that she's disregarded my boundaries. What advice do I have to speaking to her with respect and helping her understand that I am hurt?
This is a really good question. It's hard, though, because it's multifaceted as well. So this can be tricky because the mom's not going to like her pushing back. So I think before you have the conversation with your mom and getting to the result, I would really do some soul searching on what is the root of the reason why this mom doesn't want to be around this other family.
Oh, so you have a reason?
Yeah, just in your heart, like decide, like she says they're dysfunctional. Every family is dysfunctional. So what is it? Do they cuss? Are they big drinkers? Is she afraid that they're going to not be nice to her boys? Have they shown examples of that, not being nice, when they're around them? I mean, sometimes we just don't want our kids to be around a foul talking person that, is loud and cussing all the time and,
100%
drinking and all that. And you're like, my boys don't need to be exposed to that. And that's totally fine. But once she figures out, or is it just the fact that they are a little dysfunctional and you just don't like them and you just don't want to spend your holiday with them? You know what I mean? Figure out what the root is.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help you sort of determine. So like if it's a drinking situation or the cussing and all that, then you say, Mom, it's because of this. It's because they heavily drink. And I don't want my boys to get caught in the middle of that. I don't want things to go violent. And then, that ruins their holiday too. Mm-hmm. Or if it's just, I don't like them, then maybe you can have sort of an attitude adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ultimately, though, it is the mom's question. I mean, it is the mom's decision. The mom that wrote in the question. It's her decision, not her mom's decision.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it's her family that's being affected by it.
Right.
So whatever decision you make, I support you in that. But I think it's best to know what the root of the problem is. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, for sure.
Because if it's just that you don't like them, then maybe you could try to bend a little bit just to appease your mom or help that relationship. Because if you just turn away completely, it will more than likely damage you and your mom's relationship.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what can you give this mom to work on this week?
I would try to get to the root of the frustration.
Okay.
And I think that might take some time, just her and the Lord together.
Yeah.
Or maybe go to somebody like a mediator and just say, hey, I can't figure this out. Will you help me unpack this? Idea. Because this feels, the whole relationship was secretive. Mm-hmm. The whole relationship with her mom and the now husband was not done in the best way.
Yeah.
So she just might be mad about it all.
Yeah.
And not only that, you brought in this crazy family into our family. Like, I don't appreciate that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes our parents, they're just lonely.
Yeah.
And they don't want to spend time by themselves and they don't want to do life by themselves. So they go off and they get married and they don't ask our opinions of it and it hurts our feelings. I mean, if I think about it, if Dad died and I did that and just brought some random man, I'm serious, into the family, I don't think you, Kelsey, or Abby, or Taylor would love it.
Well, we would definitely have some pushback.
Yeah. So, but from the mom's standpoint, the parent, she doesn't want to be by herself. Yeah. She doesn't want to be alone,
Yeah.
So, yeah. You don't have to worry about me because I think once whoever goes first, if your dad goes first, I don't think I'll ever remarry because it's just a lot of hard work and I'm already getting old and it's just like, I'm fine. I don't need it,
Oh my goodness. We keep it real here, people.
I'm just saying.
I know.
I don't think I'm ever going to want to remarry and do all that, but who knows? Who knows? Hopefully I don't have to figure it out till I'm 90 years old.
Yeah, let's not think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on.
Emily just got very
I just don't like talking about all that. This makes me very sad. But you know what? It's okay because
everybody's alive and well and nobody's doing anything. I'm just saying there's all these pieces of the puzzle.
There's so much going on.
Yes. And this daughter is only looking at it from her lens, but her mom also has a lens.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. And I think it's good to kind of remove yourself, figure out why it is, and then go back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
because if it is his family is abusive or
if there's reason for a cause,
then you need to 100% keep them away.
Right.
And what a great mom that's like willing to stand up toe to toe against her mom.
Absolutely.
And say, no, we're not doing this. This is nuts.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I support it either way. I'm just saying try to get to the root of the issue.
Well, that's why that's your practical tip for this week is just to figure out the root of it.
Yeah.
And bring God alongside and just be like, help me see.
Help me see.
Help me see.
There's different perspectives here.
Yes.
And I want to be an honoring daughter, but, just show me.
Yeah.
Am I being stubborn? That's hard to even admit that.
It is.
You know what I mean?
As a green, I can be very stubborn. So I understand
Honey,
that.
we can all dig our heels in.
That's true. That's true. Well, that is all for us today. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button either on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We would love for you to continue to hear all of our upcoming episodes that we have for you. And please do not hesitate to send questions in to info@birdsonawire.moms.com. And we cannot wait to see you next week. Next Tuesday is when all of the podcast episodes drop. And we will see you then. See you later. Bye.